Live your best life by investing in real estate, right? Because you need that extra cash flow. You just never know what's going to happen. You know, if you're going to get hurt on your job or get laid off and be stuck. You can get properties as low as $900 at these auctions. Even though you might not want to live there because you're a little bougie, but people still going to live there.
What's up, y'all? Runway Billionaire, and this is another episode. I got a special guest today. So listen, if you looking to get into real estate and real estate investing, this is probably one of the best ways to do it. And I got one of the best people here to show you how to do it. I'm here with Dana Christian, the queen of real estate investing. And you got to understand, this is a woman that went from Section 8 to owning all the Section 8 properties. She the queen of investing in out-of-town real estate and getting guaranteed rent by a government-backed program and showing you how to buy properties for under $100K. So you ain't got to have a big bag, but you can get that passive income. Dana Christian.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This like my auntie, y'all. This like my auntie. So we like to do these things that's like master classes today. I think just specifically one of your stories is probably one of the most unique stories that I just ever heard. I think that you got the most resilience that I ever heard. Just the way that you work with your daughters, your family, like it's amazing. We gonna get the opportunity to do it today.
Okay.
So for anybody who don't know, y'all, this is like my auntie. It's like my family members, but I get to have the pleasure to get her up here to kind of not interview her, but interrogate her, ask her some questions, so y'all can get this real estate investing game, right?
Yeah.
Cause I know y'all want it. And she's gonna show you how she's monetized it. She's gonna show you her blueprint. Guys, it's gonna be a master class today. So
yes.
for anybody who don't know, tell the people who you are and how you got started.
So I'm a real estate investor and coach that specializes in out-of-state Section 8 properties using business credit cards. So I started investing in real estate because I was working at the post office and I had an anxiety attack. And I'm like, what can I do that's going to pay me well without an education? Because I dropped out of high school in the 9th grade. So after watching HGTV, and they have you thinking like you can just find a house, find a contractor, and make $1 million. So I was like, I can do this. But I found quickly that, it was a little more work than that. But that's what started me on my journey to investing in real estate.
Okay, so you was working at the post office.
Yeah.
You had an anxiety attack. Like let's dive a little deep into that. Like how you go from dang, all right, I got this job to I'm having an anxiety attack, and then I'm looking at another trying to get out of there.
Yeah, so I started working in the post office in 1996. I'm telling my age, but it's okay. Some people probably wasn't even born yet. But yeah, so I started investing in I started working at the post office in 1996 in New York City. I transferred down to Georgia in 2004, and I absolutely hated it here. And I'm like, what can I do to leave the post office? I dropped out of high school in the 9th grade. I had a GED. The only experience I had was a cashier. Like I was at work one night and I broke out in a sweat. My vision got blurred. I didn't know what was going on. So they called 911. And the first thing I was thinking about when I was waiting for the ambulance to come, I'm like, Lord, I'm having a heart attack. I'm about to die. And I thought about all the years I wasted working and not spending time with my kids. Because as a mother, a parent, you have to provide for your kids. So you have to work. So once the ambulance came, they was like, you have an anxiety attack and you need to take a couple of days off of work. But I couldn't take off. I didn't have any time and I had bills to pay. So of course, the next day I'm back at work and this kept on going on. And I was like, what can I do to leave? So that's what started me to investing in real estate, even though I didn't quit right away because I didn't make the $1 million. So, I fixed and flipped my first house and I went into buy and hold. But that gave me options to where if I didn't want to go to work, I didn't go. And I would tell them, leave without pay. So don't pay me. So real estate really gave me that option for that time freedom.
Oh, so you was flexing at the job.
Oh, yeah.
Like you was like, oh, no. We calling out today.
Yeah, and don't pay me. Leave without pay. They used to be tight.
That's crazy because, dropping out of high school, right? And like, you lucky that you even got the post office job.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. All right, so you get to a point where you like something got to give. Like I got to make some change, and you did your first flicks and like walk us through that process so we could get the viewers to how you got to where you are, and then we gonna get into the strategy.
So, I found a realtor.
Okay.
and told them I was looking for a property in Snellville, right? That's where I live at. And a lot of times we make that mistake buying where we live, but that's all I knew.
Yeah.
Right? So I found a realtor, found me a property in Snellville. They found me a property, it was $104,000. Now I needed to find a contractor. So I know Home Depot's always well, not now, we're ice out, but at Home Depot, usually contractors is there. So I found a contractor and told him what needed to be done on the house. But the biggest mistake I made with that was the contractor was charging me per hour. So you already know when somebody working per hour, they taking their time. So after they was finished, right, it took them about 3 months to finish. I sold the property for about $169,000, and that was all in like $150, right? And I counted as a loss, right? But I didn't lose money only because I didn't make what I thought I was going to make because I didn't know how to analyze a deal.
Oh.
So, and that's important, right? When you invest in, you need to know how to analyze the deal. You need to know what the comps are.
Yeah.
You need to know how to pay contractors, definitely not by the hour, but more or less by the job.
Got you. Okay, cool. So you take your proceeds, I'm assuming?
So I took my proceeds and I bought my first buy and hold property.
Got you.
Yeah, and again, making the mistake of buying where I live at. Mm-hmm. So, buying properties for $150,000. When I probably should have been investing out of state. So after buying like 4 properties, I didn't have any more cash because back then I was buying properties in my primary name, right? I mean, in my personal name, doing a conventional loan with 20% down. So every property, I had to come to the table with $20,000, $30,000.
Yeah.
So I ran out of money. And even to get started, I took out an equity line of credit from my primary resident to get started in real estate because I didn't know anything about business credit cards back then.
Got you. So basically did this deal, calling out of work. It's like, I did this deal, did not work out. I want y'all to catch this because a lot of times, like, people, they only tell you the good stuff about the real estate. Yeah. They don't tell you all of the stuff. So you like, okay, cool. I heard you mention a couple of times, like, the mistake that people make is buying where they live. So all right, so you making some money from these properties, over 60 units, and you know most of your portfolio is out of town. Like how you develop this strategy? Like when did the light bulb go off where you was like, no, you know what, I'm not buying where I live, I'm going out of town.
So in 2017, I had an injury, my first injury at the post office. And when I look back over my life, right, and I'm like, gosh, I only have 6 properties, and my goal was to buy a property every year, but I didn't buy, right, after I ran out of money, and I supposed to have been saving money to buy properties that I didn't. So 2017, when I was at a real estate meetup here in Atlanta, and someone mentioned that properties was cheaper in Baltimore and the rents was more. So I went down a rabbit hole searching out properties in Baltimore. So I found this auction, Alex and Cooper, and they had about 100 properties. So, I did my online research that I knew how to do at the time, looking to see what the property taxes was, checking out how much rental income you can get, and bid it on, I had like 54 houses on my list. I got the 50th house. So I bid $70,000 for the house. The house was worth $134,000, and it was a rent-ready property, rather turnkey, because it was a tenant in it paying $1,200. Oh. Right? So I bid it on the property. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't go to Baltimore to see this property. Right? I broke out in the sweat afterwards. Was like, Dana, what are you doing? I know nobody in Baltimore.
You about to have no panic attack.
I didn't know nobody in Baltimore, but I was like, the numbers make sense, so you got to move forward.
Yeah.
So I bought that property, and so after I bid it on the property, I called the auctioneer, was asking questions, and they was like, it's a really good property, and the man was like, well, I don't have to sell you on it because you already bought it.
Right.
So he was like, when you want to close? So I was like, well, how long I have? He said 45 days. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna take the whole 45 days.
Yeah.
In between that time, I don't know how I heard about Cleveland. Yeah. So Cleveland popped up on my radar. So I'm looking at Cleveland, and properties was like back then in 2000, this was 2018 when I bought this property. You can get a duplex for $10,000.
Wait,
yeah.
What?
For $10,000 back in 2018.
Can we go back to 2018 real quick? Take us back to 2018.
You could get a duplex for $10,000. So, and I didn't know nobody in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Right. So I closed on that property. Then I moved on to the Cleveland market because the properties was cheaper.
Yeah. So how was the rents in the Cleveland market?
Back then they wasn't that high, but if you look at the rent to purchase ratio, it was still cheap, right? So even though the property's $10,000, need about $30,000 in work, so you all in $40,000. So think about it, you invest in $40,000 and you could get $1,200 in rent. That's a good return on investment.
Yeah.
So it made sense, but right now the rents is higher because units that I was getting $600 for, now I'm getting $1,000.
Got you. So a lot of these properties you are doing, they turnkey or they Section 8 where you getting guaranteed rent every single month. You're not even worried about, am I gonna get paid? You just I just gotta not have an anxiety attack.
Correct.
And live another 30 days.
Because people always need a place to live.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. People always need a place to live. And, sometimes we think about investing where we live at. Like I'm here in Atlanta. You're not gonna get a single family house under $250,000.
Yeah.
Even though it might cash flow $2,500, which meet that 1% rule.
Yep.
Right? But you can go to Detroit and get a single family for $75,000. That's cash flowing $1,600.
So for the same $250, you get 3-4 houses.
Correct.
Dang.
Yeah, so it makes sense. I have mentees that bought properties in Detroit, ain't never even been to Detroit.
Dang.
One of my mentees is on her 6th property.
That's crazy.
And she was like, I'm not even interested. It's about really just building a team.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Like most people that invest in a state, they feel like it's the safer or the better option. And a lot of your portfolio, once you got hooked on this, Baltimore, Detroit, Cleveland, like once you got into these markets and you saw it was the opposite, I'm assuming you like, I get more bang for my buck.
Correct.
Why do you think people like don't go and invest out of town?
Because they don't know. Right? Some people don't even know you can do it. I didn't even know you can do it. Yeah. I think sometimes people don't know they can do it. And then when I hear people say, well, I just want to invest where I live at because it's comfortable. Comfortable how? If a person's not going to pay, they ain't going to pay. No matter if they're your next door neighbor. So I think for the most part, people not aware that they can invest outside their current market.
Yeah.
Second, people don't know how or where to even start.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, where do I even start? Like, how do I know if somebody want to live there, right? Yeah. And sometimes when we go into these other markets and you go into the inner city, it is a little rough, right? And it might be abandoned properties on the block. But I think about in 2008, I bought a property from an auction here in Georgia. And everything I went to go bid for, because of course I was bidding for the suburbs. We got to outbid it. I was like, I'm leaving here with something, right? So you had a list of houses, and it was this house on Ivor Street, and I knew Ivor Street because we used to drive for dollars. That's when you're driving around looking for properties. So I was like, all right, they doing rehabs over there. So I bid it on the property, $87,000. At the time, they said the property was worth $365,000. So I'm like, all right, we done won big.
Yeah.
After the auction, we driving to go see this property. We driving on Ivor Street, driving, past over the railroad tracks where they not doing rehabs at. We get to this block. It's 4 houses on the block. I'm like, what did we just buy?
What?
But the house was rent ready. It was clean, safe, and functional. We put a for rent sign in the ground, right? Somebody moved in. This lady was happy that it had ceiling fans. She was ecstatic. It had a dishwasher. Me and my husband looking at each other like, okay, if you love it, we love it. She moved in it. She stayed in that house for 16 years.
Yeah.
The only reason she moved is because the neighborhood turned. Now houses is going for $600,000 on the block.
Yeah.
So we told her we were selling it, which we did, because I bought it in my personal name. We sold it to our business.
Gotcha.
And we rehab it, so now I'm Airbnb-ing it. And the house got appraised for over $500,000, right? So I always tell people that even though you might not want to live there because you're a little bougie, but people still going to live there and be happy. So when I went into the Cleveland market, I had to go with that mindset because there was abandoned houses. But as soon as we fix something up, go to Section 8, send them pictures or pay the rent for rent sign. Somebody's moving in and they happy.
Yeah. So you basically saying like, most investors, you looking at what you want to live in.
Correct.
Because I'm a little bougie. I ain't going to lie.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Right? I was buying properties because I'm thinking if I want to live there, somebody else want to live there.
Yep.
Right? But the reality of it is, If it's clean, safe, and functional, somebody gonna live there and
Okay.
be happy and pay every month on time.
All right. So have you ever had a Section 8 property that outperformed like one of these $250,000, $300,000, like as far as cash flow wise?
Oh, yes. So it is this 5-unit that I have in Cleveland, Ohio, right?
5 units?
Huh? Yeah, 5-unit.
Hey, they just got. Hey, y'all better go in this Cleveland market.
And I bought it for $35,000,
5 units for $35,000,
and it needed a complete rehab, which was $180,000. But I'm all in $205,000.
Yeah.
So the neighborhood used to be a little rough. So my contractor, once he rehabbed it, he had posted some pictures on his page, and somebody asked him, about it. So he gave them the address. They was like, oh no, I don't want to live over there. So he was getting that a lot. So he was like, well, Dana, if you want somebody to stay here, you're going to have to rent it for like $800. It was 3-bedroom each unit. So I'm like, all right, good. I'm still going cash flow. I went to Section 8. They gave me $1,553. So just about double.
Per unit?
Per unit.
That's crazy.
Per unit.
So all right. So wait a minute. We gotta break these numbers down. Yo.
Yeah.
So basically it was just in an undesirable neighborhood.
Yes.
Where some of the people that the locals, they was just like, we don't want to move over there.
Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, like I think like 800.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People would be like, okay.
Yeah.
You said, no, I'm going to Section 8.
I'm going to Section 8.
They said, we ain't gonna give you 800. We gonna give you 1553 per unit.
$1,553 per unit. But if you think about it, right? Like I'm from Harlem.
Gotta do this math, y'all. Gotta do this math.
Look, I'm from Harlem, and when I think about blocks that we used to grow up on, used to be abandoned buildings.
Right.
So now let's just say I haven't been back to Harlem in 2-3 years, and somebody be like, all right, so Dana, they got an apartment on 126th Street.
Yeah.
Right? And the first time I think about 126th Street, my father used to sell dope over there. Like, there'd be dope fiends over there. Like, I don't want to live over there, but now they done build it up.
They regented.
Yeah. So, and the same thing going on with Cleveland, like people not seeing like what's going on.
They not seeing like it getting built up.
Correct.
Like all they see is the abandoned houses. But then an investor like you come in 6 months, it looked like a totally different.
Correct.
Then you got other investors on the commercial side that probably bring in stores and other things.
Yeah.
And before you know it, in like 5 years, you go back to your neighborhood, it don't even look the same.
Not at all.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yo, so you did that number, that's about 7,500.
Yeah, that's 7,700.
Yeah.
From one building. That you paid $30,000 for. You put 180, you all in 205. How much was it worth?
Oh, over $1 million. This is the crazy thing.
What?
So a vehicle ran into the front of the building. So the insurance paid the claim to get the bricks fixed. Then they dropped me. So when I contact another insurance company, they was giving me a hard way to go. They said because the property is worth over $1 million and you only paid $35,000 for it.
Dang.
But I was like, I said I spent, I had to increase my numbers. I said, well, I spent like $500,000 in it rehabbing it.
Yeah.
So then they felt a little more comfortable. But why you counting my pockets?
Yeah.
What about I paid $35,000 what it's worth? But it's worth over $1 million.
That's crazy. So you purchased this property for $30,000, put $180,000 into it, 5 units.
Using credit cards. So people probably think, well, I don't have that type of money.
Okay.
Credit cards.
Okay.
And you don't even have to have,
okay,
you know what I'm saying, $180,000 on a credit card. You can have 18 credit cards with $10,000. That equal 180. But we ain't here to talk about credit in funding. We here to talk about real estate. But it's strategies to it.
It's strategies to it. But you just messed me up. Because now I got a whole nother set of questions, y'all. I'm still stuck at this building is cash flowing $7,700. The government is telling you, yes, like we got you, we gonna cover you, and it's gonna be guaiguaranteed, and it's worth over $1 million.
Correct.
This is crazy.
So even
I see why you out Cleveland.
I ain't going nowhere.
She said I ain't going nowhere. Cleveland is mine. Now let me ask you a question, because what I see, and I'm just going by what I see. What I see on the internet with most real estate investors, they turn their nose up at low cost property. Like if a property too low, there's some investors that won't touch a property if it's under 100,000. So what's your concept? Like I mean, buying it for 30 and it's 1 million.
It's 2 reasons why people invest in real estate. One is cash flow, and the other one is to save on taxes, right?
Yep.
So if it's to save on taxes, you might want to buy more expensive properties, right? And that comes to return on investment. Let's just say you have $1 million sitting in the bank. What's the return on investment? Like 3%, something like that.
Yeah.
But you can put that $1 million in real estate. So you might buy more expensive buildings because one, your money going to double in a couple of years.
Yep.
And then let's just say at $1 million, let's just say you get $10,000 a month off of that. That's what, 10%, right? That you're getting in interest every month. So it makes sense. So I think that's one reason, because the type of money they have to invest.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people just don't know. Are they, again, thinking about, I want to invest where I live or buy something that I would want to live in.
Gotcha.
Right? So that's what I assume, because honestly, I never really asked someone, but I'm just assuming, and I know for a fact, it's two reasons people invest in real estate, right? Because I remember when I used to go to auctions, and I'm like, all right, this property, why they bidding up this property so much? Or I wouldn't buy this property because the return on investment ain't great. Then I had to realize they dealing with a different type of money. So they find where even if they return on investment is 5%, because you're not getting that in the bank. And plus your money is growing.
Gotcha.
And there's no safer place than to put your money in real estate.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, when you paying $30,000, I'm about to wire you some money right now. we can run that play one more time and again and again and again.
Guess what? Detroit is having a big auction coming up in September.
Oh.
And in Cleveland have a big auction coming up September also.
All right, so y'all heard that. Detroit, and do they have this auction every year? Is it multiple times a year?
So Detroit auction is every year, between the second and third week of September.
Okay.
They have one once a year. Then whatever doesn't sell in that auction, they have another one in October and November. But you can get properties as low as $900 at these auctions.
No.
But now it will need a full rehab, right? Yeah. So it's not rent ready, but you can find nice properties. A good place to be is really like between $15,000 and $30,000, right? Because I have a lot of mentees that would just buy houses for $15,000 and sell it for $30,000.
Yeah, they just
right. So a strategy that we use, that usually we would buy properties, right? It's like $30,000, probably rehab it for $50,000 or using credit cards, and that is the only auction that take business credit cards or personal credit cards. Most auctions you have to have cash.
Oh,
that is the only auction.
Which one is
Detroit?
Detroit?
Detroit is the only auction
Detroit,
that take credit cards.
Yeah.
Right? That you could pay with a credit card. But let's just say you buy a property for $30,000 and you rehab it, full rehab, say 60, you all in 90. These properties is getting appraised for over $150,000.
Yeah.
So once they get appraised, right, and you get a tenant in it, then you refinance it with a DSCR loan, right, for like $120,000, pay off your credit cards, put 20 in your pocket, and now your tenant is paying off your loan.
Yeah.
And that's kind of called a bird method, and you just keep on repeating that process. But Detroit is one of those markets, in Cleveland, Milwaukee, there's a whole bunch of those in the city, in the Midwest, that you can buy properties for low, and that's going to appraise for higher.
Like, I understand why people are not talking about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, but you know, they have thousands of properties on that list.
Yeah, so it's Detroit, they do one every year.
They do one every year. So Cleveland,
and they only do it once a year,
They
right?
do it once a year.
Okay,
right.
cool.
So now Cleveland do have one just about every week.
Cleveland got one there. Is that many properties in Cleveland?
Monday is the mortgage foreclosure ones.
Okay.
Wednesday is the tax foreclosure ones.
Okay.
And then September, usually be the last week of August, but this year, I think it's September 3rd through 5th.
Okay.
And these auctions are online, so you don't even have to be in person.
No.
So yes, but the one that Cleveland have September, they annually one, that one is in person, and they have hundreds of properties on that list too. Probably at least about 600-700.
Wow, so you mean to tell me, like, if I want to be an investor, like, and I want to go and I want to operate in one of these markets, first of all, if I go to Detroit, I can use credit cards, whether it's personal or business credit cards. They take credit cards. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yes.
And then two, if I do got some liquid, then I could just, you know what I mean? I got hundreds, if not thousands of opportunities to pick from.
Correct.
And one of the things on this show is like I teach people how to monetize, you know, their online business. So a lot of time when we got these online businesses, we don't really have a whole lot of overhead.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Uncle Sam, hey, bro, you need to.
You ain't give Uncle
You know what I
Sam
mean?
nothing.
So I
I
like.
shouldn't say that. Yes, what we supposed to? What we supposed to?
We're gonna give you as little bit as possible, bro. You be in our pockets. You know what I mean? Like the insurance company,
Yeah,
they was in
right.
your pocket, count your pockets. But what I like to do is I like to bring, you know, people like you to show them ways that they can utilize their money because you can save money on taxes, like you said, and still cash flow. And I mean, shoot, it's just crazy. So let me ask you a question. Like now that we on the auction topic, did a large percentage of your portfolio come from the auction? Or do you still look for deals on a daily and weekly basis?
So I have a mixture, right? Because I know the properties that's gonna come from the auction going to need a complete rehab.
Got you.
Right. So it just depends on where I'm at.
Yep.
Right. So I do buy from auctions because it's going to be cheaper. I buy from wholesalers.
Yep.
And I also buy on, I hate to say this website, Zillow, because we got something better coming. But,
Yeah.
But I buy properties that's on MLS list.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No, I like that. So you just going right on Zillow. You're not even complicating it and making it hard. You see something and
the price makes sense.
Okay.
And the return on investment is great.
So let's talk about that. Like what formula do you use to make sure that the price makes sense? Because a lot of these properties you buying, they are turnkey. A lot of these properties, you know, they probably need a light rehab, and then you go to the auction, they need full rehab. Like, what is your process that you do to make sure that it's a good deal? Because you saying like, yo, I'm buying these properties based on like on the internet, not even going there, and they out of town. So we need to know like what's the numbers? Like, how break it down. Tell us something.
So first I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to heruser.gov and see how much rent I can collect. So you got your calculator, right?
Yep.
So let's just say for a 3-bedroom, you find that you can get $1,550.
Okay.
Right. So do $1,550.
All right, $1,550.
Multiply that by 12.
Okay, $1,550.
Multiply by 12.
Times 12. Yep, that's 18,000.
So 18,000 you'll get a year. So now let's just say you found a property for $79,000.
Okay.
Divide that by 79,000. 79,000.
Yep.
What's that return on investment?
Let me see. 79,000.
You should get a point number.
Divided by 18,600.
No. Do 18,000 first.
I'll do 18,000 first. All right, 18,000 divided by 79,000. Okay, and that equals 0.22.
22%. Where you getting that return at? All right. So now let's just do this again, right? So that's 22% return on investment. But let's just say that you're gonna buy a property here in Georgia.
Okay.
Let's just say you can collect $2,200 in rent. So 22 times 12.
2,200 times 12.
And let's just say the property is $3,000. $300,000. I'm sorry, 300,000.
Okay.
What's that return?
We're gonna divide that by 300,000, and that is 0.088.
8% return. Where you going? Where you investing at?
Where you going?
Yeah, where you investing at? You
Where
see
you
why?
going?
You know what I'm saying? So the numbers make sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm investing out of town, right? So even though we don't have the expenses, right? So the expenses is going to be like 5% of that. So let's just say it came to 22%, our first example. Right? So minus 5% since we don't know what the taxes is right now, or property manager fee and stuff like that. So that's still what? 17% return, which is great. Anything over really 10% is good.
Yeah. But like some people will probably, like some investors will probably still be good with 8%.
Oh yeah,
because
you cash heavy.
Yeah.
But it depends on your strategy. If you're investing for cash flow.
Yeah.
If you're investing for cash flow, or you investing to save on taxes. So a person like yourself that's cash heavy, you might be like, well, you know what? I want the $300,000 property, right? Because I want to put my money somewhere to save on taxes versus buying a bunch of cheaper houses.
I mean,
so
sure,
all depends
but it still makes sense. I go to the auction. I buy me a bunch of cheap houses.
Yeah,
and I know at the end I'm gonna get 22.
Yeah, so it makes more sense.
Yeah. No, I listen. I love that. The math is mathing.
Yeah.
The math is mathing. So you say you go to HUDuser.com.
So go to HUDuser.gov, right? Because somebody is probably thinking, well, I want to go to Baltimore. I don't even know zip codes. Or I want to go to Baltimore. I don't know zip code. Yeah. So you go to HUDuser, right? And you put in the state, the county, and then it tells you by zip code how much rent you can collect in every zip code, right? So now you're going to choose a zip code where the rent is high. Right, but let's just say I go to a zip code and for 3 bedrooms, I'm seeing I'm getting $1,800. Yeah. Now I'm gonna go to Zillow and look for a property in that zip code, right? But now if the houses is over 200,000, now I'm gonna pick another one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I search out what zip codes to buy. Because honestly, I went to Cleveland, I ain't know nobody. And I buy on numbers. Detroit, I ain't know nobody. Baltimore, I ain't know nobody. Numbers. And then you just build relationships, right? So whatever state you're thinking about investing in, find you a realtor that's investor friendly. Find you a property manager, because both of them is going to have contractors. Now, if you feel like traveling to that state, which you don't have to, but if you do, join a local RIA. Yeah. Everybody you need on your team is going to be at a local RIA. And RIA stands for Real Estate Investor Association.
I got you. Dang. So that's crazy. So basically, like, this is why this is a masterclass. She just literally just gave y'all the game and told y'all exactly what to do. Like, yo, go here, see what the rents is, go in that market, go on Zillow, make sure that the properties is under, you know what I mean? You know, the price that it need to be. What is that price that they need to be under?
So I would say under $100,000.
Under $100,000.
Under $100,000.
What's the magic number?
The magic number is really like 75,000.
All right, so like 75,000.
So yeah,
75,000 and lower.
Yeah, 75,000 is kind of like the magic number. Now this depends on how you paying for the property. Gotcha. Right? So if you're using credit cards, that's fine. But if you want to use a DSCR loan, stands for debt service cover ratio, which is a rental loan, they don't like to lend under $100,000.
So you want to get something at 100.
So you want to get something at 100 if you want to utilize them.
Oh, she giving y'all the plays. Yeah. She giving y'all the sauce. She giving y'all the sauce. Yeah. All right. I'm coming in. I'm fairly new. I'm just discovering you today. I don't know nothing from nothing, but I know that I want to do this real estate. And you talking about this out of town and the numbers sound right. And I'm like, I got 10,000. What's my first step?
So your first step is fix your credit. Make sure and get access to more money. Yeah. Right? Because $10,000, you can buy some from an auction and sell it, but now you need education. So you need mentorship. Yeah. Now, even if it ain't from me, it's from somebody, right? So I always want to tell people to get some type of mentorship, because you don't want to lose money, right? So I had a neighbor, he knew I was investing in real estate, but I guess his pride wouldn't allow him to ask me for help. He went and did his first fix and flip, him and this guy. They had to come to the closing table with $50,000. If you would have just asked me, or even paid back then, my mentorship was $5,000. Pay the $5,000, you would have saved money, right? That $50,000 you lost and probably made money, right? So I'm always going to tell people, get mentorship, right? You know, if you want to YouTube it, but if you have $10,000, if you get access to more funding and credit, do that. If not, buy a property from an auction and just sell it back, right? So let's just say you take $10,000 and you go to Detroit, you buy a property for $10,000. Most likely you can sell it for $20,000.
Got you.
Right? So I will probably do that to get my cash out.
Oh, so like do a couple flips a couple times.
Well, it's kind of like wholesaling in a sense, because you're not doing anything to the property. You're just buying it and selling it. So so it's still kind of like a flip.
Yeah. So you go get you an auction, you buy a property for like, now you said these properties, they 900, 4,000, right? You go get you a property and then you go try to sell it for either double or whatever you could get for it, and then flip your money. Until you got the capital to go ahead and get in there. A buying home.
Yeah, and I know somebody asked me, well, where do I sell it at? Right? So you can go to Facebook groups, right? And just join wholesaling Facebook groups. And then post it in there. You got a house available, or either some realtor groups on Facebook, and post that you got a deal. Yeah. And then that way you don't have to pay somebody to sell it for you.
Yeah, so for anybody who don't know what a wholesaler is, they're like, oh, what's a wholesaler? Like, I don't want to, I bought the property, I don't want to sell it for cheaper than what I got
No. So the reason I said go to a wholesale group, because there's going to be investors in there looking for properties. right? So you're not looking for another wholesaler to wholesale the property for you.
Yeah.
You just want to post in there, I have a property available for sale,
Yep.
123 Main Street for $10,000. Well, you pay 10, but for $20,000.
Yeah.
But I would go up probably a little higher than I want because
Yep.
people might try to talk you down a little bit.
It might not be a bad idea to have a wholesaler put their fee on top
yeah.
of it.
Oh yeah, they can put their fee on top of that
and
because
then go work it for you. That might not be a bad idea. All right, so I want to make sure they get the sauce, right? So it's this software that you got. It's the software that you got, and this software is supposed to be able to take a person from pretty much a beginner for them to be able to do all the research without going all of these different websites. Just talk about it real fast and let them know.
So the Property Plug is a real estate investor software where you're going to be able to find properties, check to find out if it's a landlord-friendly state, right? Because you don't want to be in a renter-friendly state. You're going to be able to check the crime rate. You're going to be able to figure out your return on investment, check to see exactly how much rent you can collect. So instead of going to her user, going to this website, going to this website, it's an all-in-one platform.
So instead of going to Zillow, instead of going to HUD user, instead of going to these different websites, you could just literally go type it in. It'll break down everything for you.
Correct.
And you know how much money you gonna make from whether your option is you want to do a complete rehab, you want to DSCR, you want to do anything. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's going to be training in there also.
Dang.
Right? So it's going to be training in there, and it's going to be powered by AI. So if you want to ask it, like, what is the website for the Detroit auction, it's going to give you the website.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Man, this game is getting crazy.
So I thought about everything, every tool that I use and the information I needed to be successful to own over 60 rental properties and put it into the software. You're going to even be able to upload your credit report and tell you what banks to go to for funding.
Oh, wait. You're not playing fair right now.
Yeah, no. We ain't playing fair.
You're not playing fair right now.
Because I want to make sure people have the tools they need to win.
Yeah.
Right? Because we think it's so hard to get started in real estate because you will hear of investors telling you, oh, it's hard, don't do this, don't do that. And it's really not that hard because I always say, if I got started by watching a television show, anybody can do it.
HGTV.
You know what I'm
Something
saying?
that don't even show you the whole process.
Don't even show you the whole process. Yep. But you know what I'm saying? So I think about everything a person needs to be successful, and it's going to be in this software.
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that you helping people condense it, and technology is just so advanced, and then it's powered by AI, so it really just gonna have up to date and accurate information, and just allow them to do it faster because you've been investing in real estate for over a decade, and you've been able to grow a real estate portfolio. So I'm pretty sure, like you said, first property, you ain't even know how to run your numbers.
I ain't nothing about no numbers. I ain't know nothing. I didn't learn about how to analyze a deal, honestly, till 2017.
Dang. So when you start investing in real estate?
2006.
So you had 11 years of not running numbers, just blindly
this
investing.
Is how much rent I can collect. This is how much I'm gonna charge, and I was probably charging less rent than I can actually get.
For sure.
Because I'm like, all right, so if the mortgage is $1,000, I'm gonna rent this out for $1,500. That's $500. Not knowing I probably could have got more because I didn't know anything about HUD user. I didn't know anything about rental meter or just finding out how much rent I can actually collect.
Right. You ain't know.
I just guessing my way through.
You ain't know about putting
But I don't want you to guess your way through because I'm here to help.
You ain't know about putting it in your business name.
Nothing.
She was just out here executing, y'all.
Yeah.
And I love executors. So we do this segment on the show where it's 48 hours of implementation, where basically you give the viewers one or two things that they could go implement in the next 48 hours to go win. I'm gonna leave it totally up to you on what you want them to do. Like, what's one thing that you could get them, or two things that you could get them that they say that they could take from this segment and that they say I could start working on this tomorrow.
Okay. So I want you to go to huduser.gov and check to see how much rent. Let's just say we're gonna do Cleveland. You can go to huduser.gov, check how much rent you can get in every zip code in Cleveland, Ohio. Then you're going to go to Zillow and check to see if you can find property. So in the search bar, you're going to put Cleveland, Ohio. You're going to do 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. You're going to put the price under $100,000 and see what comes up. So once a house come up, you're going to do your return on investment like we did. You're going to take your rent, multiply it by 12, and then divide it by that purchase price. If your return on investment is 17% or higher, you're going to contact that realtor and tell that realtor you want to buy a house.
Dang. Just that, just like that.
Yeah.
Like start executing.
Start executing.
Just like that. Just like that. I love it. So, as we wrap up the session, right? You talked a lot about like, just your whole investment journey, your strategy. What would you say you prefer? Would you prefer like getting turnkey properties? Would you say that you prefer like, no, I'm going straight to Section 8 and getting, getting that guaranteed rent, or I'm gonna do a full rehab? But what would you say? We already know it's out of town.
Yeah.
We know dang well it ain't gonna be down the street.
So I'm gonna buy rent-ready turnkey properties, and I'm gonna put it on Section 8 because I want to start cash flowing right away.
Dang.
Right? Because you want that passive income. So that's my preferred strategy.
Dang, she like you ain't getting away from it.
Yeah, that's it. And honestly, the only reason I do fix and flips is to pay off the credit cards.
Okay.
That's the only reason.
So let's dive a little deeper on that. Let's dive a little deeper on that. You got your passive income, but then you said every now and again you come in and you do like a fix and flip.
Fix and flips. So let's go back to that 5-unit, right? So I'm all in $205,000 on credit cards.
Yeah.
Right? But I can do a fix and flip. Let's just say I do 3 fix and flips and make $70,000 off of each one.
Yeah.
That's paying off the credit cards. Now I own this building free and clear. And it's a free property because I didn't use any of my money. I used the credit cards to purchase it, rehab.
Yep.
Right? Now I'm doing fix and flips to pay it off. That I'm using credit cards for the fix and flips.
Got you. So now it's just 100% cash flow from that
cash
building.
Flow. Yeah.
77. Do you need to adopt a kid? You feel me? Like this is crazy. This is how I feel like a lot of people don't go like, and give the whole strategy, like the whole play. So you like, yo, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do a couple fix and flips to pay that down. And if from my understanding, once you go pay that debt down, you don't have to pay that capital gains tax?
What capital gains? We didn't sell anything.
Oh, right.
So we didn't sell anything. So even so, if it say, I know what you're talking about, the properties that I fix and flip. No, because I'm doing buying whole properties.
Okay.
Because I'm like, what capital gains? But I'm doing, more capital gains. We buying whole properties, so you writing that off against the capital gains, right? So yeah.
I mean, I love it. I would love a free property too. To be able to pay $30,000, put $180,000 into a project, and it be worth $1 million. That's the numbers is crazy.
Yeah, and then the beauty of it is you can borrow against it tax free.
Oh, I see.
Right, so you got this property that's worth $100,000 million. You can borrow 80%, so you can borrow $800,000 tax free, and then write off the interest on your taxes.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and so even when we talked about people not buying the cheaper properties, that's a strategy too that they use. That's people that's cash heavy. They would take the cash and buy properties and then borrow against it. Let's just say you buy a property for $500,000 and you buy it cash, right? So now you can borrow, say 75%, 80% of that, right? Yeah. So you're going to borrow from that cash free. So now you have your cash back. And now you done written off that $500,000 off your tax, off your income on your taxes, and the interest on that loan, you can write it off the next year. And now you got that cash that's tax free.
Sheesh. Man, it's just plays over. I don't know if they could catch. I don't know if they could catch all this.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, when you just think about it, you like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if they going. I don't know if they gonna be able to catch all this. So what I want to do is I want you to get the viewers any last words that you want them to catch. I know that you've been building a massive portfolio and you got it dialed in. Like you're one of those people that like, y'all gotta think, y'all, in 2017, you still was at the post office.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, so just all of this happened, what seems like it's just a short amount of time. Once you got the right strategy and you got the right play, it not only allows you to cash flow, it allows you to build, to build wealth. And like my auntie always say, she want to live her best life.
Yes.
So tell these people how they can live their best life.
And live your best life by investing in real estate, right? Because you need that extra cash flow. You just never know what's going to happen, you know, if you're going to get hurt on your job or get laid off and be stuck with no income. And not only that, as we getting close to retirement age, right, and we thinking about retiring, you're not going to even get 50% of what you're making currently. So how are you going to survive when you think about when do you spend the most money? When you off. When you retire, that's an off day every day, right? So even if you buy 2 or 3 properties, right, having an extra $2,000-$3,000 would change your life. So I'm going to encourage everybody to invest in real estate, you know, and my thing is being prepared for the unexpected.
Yeah, and the government backing you up.
Oh yeah, guaranteed
income. Yeah,
guaranteed rental income.
I love it. I love it. So, guys, that concludes our episode on the show. Miss Dana Christian, man, make sure y'all go look at the show notes. Make sure y'all look at the description. We got some gifts for y'all.
Right.
Make sure she get y'all some. I make sure she get y'all some gifts. I want to say thank you so much for giving your time, telling your story, giving your strategies. Man, make sure y'all go execute on her rule, right? Make sure y'all go put those calculations in. Make sure y'all go search for those properties, and make sure you go get some cash flow. That's guaranteed. I'll see y'all in the next one.